are going to witness the parade advancing in review order. Shall we all be assembling while we prepare the music comes? And then I'm going to on the formation, the Brazilian Kabuki as youth, we will do better through volunteerism. Shall we all take our seat? Then they go back to reform back into their three procedures. Shall we give them a round of applause? It will interest you know that it took the entire continuation of 2 weeks to rehearse in their various institutions, and the wonderful children are here to have such a wonderful display this morning. The parade is under the directorship of volunteer Kelvin Dave Okoti Mensa, supervised by SW2 Patient Logan from the Army Drill and BBC, who is also an instructor at the Ghana Military Academy NAC. Then she has asked permission to translate that for the new hostel address and presentation of special award. As I said earlier, on the 29th of June, there were on the award a competition between several schools in the country that has got to do with band competition and drill competition. We will be presenting here the award of the various winners. Let us all sit, relax, and join our students who are winners for wonderful certificate skills and competition award 2. The certificate movement forward are drawn from Edinburgh Senior High School. These are certificates.
We
This group is led by Mr. Anaya Okoto, the Lieutenant Governor. We will be having presentation of special awards and a delivery of speech by the review officer. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. We'll invite our review officer and honorable chief of staff, deputy chancellor, help us do this special presentation. Standing students who put up the performance during our national program. Third position for our bureau campaign was won by Portland T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School. Amas. Yes. The master in charge, please, we ask to get ready. Kindly be quick for us. Second position, Asim Fosu National Vocational Training Institute, MIC. You did well. You did well. Congratulations. Don't worry, you should have won the first position, that's why. Okay, and the top winners for this year, excellent drill skills, Chito Senior High Technical School. Please hold it well, we beg you. For our band competition, the third place was Suhum Setek. Suhum Setek, third. Congratulations, Suhum Setek. And the second place was Otibwati Senior High School. The MIC place. Second place, Otibwati Senior High School, Obos. Thank you very much. I understand. They wanted the first position there because they didn't get the first position.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the first position was taken by Oyoko Senior High School. Let's give it up for them. Thank you. And we have medals for best conductor for the band competition. She is from Accra Girls, Philippa Ajenu Boateng. Yes, madam, you can receive it on FBI. Yes, that's the headmistress for Accra Girls, the youngest so far. And our best drum major, she is from Achimota Senior High School. Ya Nkansa Sarkodie. Okay, the MIC for Achimota, please. And for our drill competition, we have the best contingent commander coming from Asin Fosu NVTI. And our best supernumerary is from Chito Secondary Technical. Yes, this is what we call supernumerary. Thank you. So for this program and for this beautiful parade, we had some MICs giving us the best of support, and the best of them all, the best MIC. Sorry, told you, but I don't have your name. Best MIC. Our best MIC. We told you are the best MIC. Okay. All right. I'm told that our biggest boss here is going to do that for us. So please would ask you to take your seat, and then I want you to read your seat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll invite our Deputy Director General GS to help us present a token to be sent to the Chief of Staff on our behalf. This is a little token to say thank you for giving the young people the opportunity to commemorate the day. On behalf of the National Cadet Corps and the happy family of young people, we say thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
This is the Second Republic Day Commemoration Parade. A while ago, we witnessed the presentation of awards to the various individuals who distinguished themselves in various categories.
At this point, we will call on our Review of Staff, the Honorable Deputy Chief of Staff, to deliver his address. Thank you.
Please let's welcome him once he takes the stage.
Thank you very much, MC. Your Excellencies, Honorable Members of Parliament, Honorable Ministers of States herein present, Ambassadors and Heads of Missions in Ghana, Heads of Departments and Agencies, Representatives of Service Chiefs, the Board Chairman and members of the National Cadet Board, the National Cadet Coordinator General, leaders and heads of various youth groups, our revered religious leaders, our prominent traditional leaders, fellow countrymen and women, special invited guests, friends in the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. It is 62 years exactly today that our beloved country, Ghana, attained its Republican status, and we are very proud to commemorate the day today. I am humbled to be addressing you on this occasion on behalf of the Chief of Staff, Madam Frema Osei Opare. I bring to you greetings from His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, and the entire leadership of government. It is an undisputable fact that the youth of this country constitute about 60% of our population, and any investment given to them today is a positive investment for the future of our society. I have no doubt that various organizations and individuals have contributed to this historical event and are looking at the future of the youth. If all of us cooperate, Ghana could invest in the youth in various meaningful ways, such as through music, campaign, and other educational competitions that engage them so that no individual, group of persons, or terrorist entity could influence them negatively. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the issue of volunteerism in Ghana today is little understood, and I'm very glad that the youth have recognized the fact that we can work together and bounce back together very well as a nation through volunteerism. Most advanced countries have built their countries successfully today by encouraging voluntary work and services among youth and leadership. I must challenge our leaders of today to do more by encouraging the youth in voluntary work, as our actions and inactions will tell the story of whether or not it is good to do voluntary work. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will all agree with me that we are not in normal times due to general challenges that have affected both the developed and developing countries. Let us, at all levels, learn to face the harsh realities of this era, as this will help us to build trust and confidence among ourselves, institutions, and leadership. I am very humbled to state that the promise years ago of giving transport support to the Cadet Corps for their operations is seeing the light of day, and want to assure the National Cadet Headquarters that the befitting office complex and 4x4 station wagon will be provided as well. distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I can say with confidence that the Cadet Corps is the biggest and most reliable youth organization in Ghana today. This is very evident through the mobilization of about 10,000 young boys and girls who have managed to travel from far and near from all the 16 regions to commemorate this day. Permit me to state that this day is ours, a day for the youth, and will not be surprised if the Ministry of Youth and Sports puts in proper documentation to the presidency to make this day the National Youth Day, since there is no day set aside for the youth of Ghana as it is in other countries. We look forward to the day when the youth leaders may be part of those who receive national honors such as orders, decorations, we look forward to the day when the youth leaders may be part of those who receive national honors such as orders, decorations, and medals of the Republic of Ghana. On this note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to honor some few officials who have distinguished themselves to support the promotion of cadet and discipline in our educational institutions. I must say that though there were many qualified persons, only 3 awards will be given out. The awards this year includes a special plaque from my office, a certificate, and a round trip to the United Kingdom for 1 week. So first, the best master in charge of cadets that encourages the student to be more disciplined in school and has had a positive influence on their colleagues in school for the year 2022 goes to the master in charge of Achimota Army School Cadet Corps, Mr. David Achu Kujinawo. I must say this makes me very proud. Like the Honorable Member of Parliament, Dr. Zaneto, we both attended Achimota School. Congrats. Second, the best head of institution that has supported the Cadet Corps for the year 2022 goes to the headmistress of Kapohin Senior High School in the Northern Region, Hajia Ramatu Awudu. Hajia, come now. And last but not the least, the best regional director of education that has supported the Cadet Corps for the year 2022 goes to the Greater Accra Regional Director of Education, Madam Monica Ankra. The Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service are on this day tasked on behalf of the government to coordinate and ensure the successful educational trip by the award winners to the United Kingdom next month in August. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will appeal to the various heads of mission in Ghana to continue to encourage and promote good cultural, educational, and sports exchanges among the youth of their respective countries, especially with the Cadet Corps. We wish to challenge corporate Ghana and the media to look at exploiting the positive opportunity with various voluntary youth groups, such as the Cadet Corps, on their media outlets and platforms. This, I believe, will encourage them in their endeavors. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us unite as one people to build a better future for this generation and the youth of tomorrow. As the theme for this year states, quote, working together through volunteerism, bouncing back together, unquote. Let us rally around volunteerism and support efforts to bounce back together with a single determination exemplified by the discipline instilled in the Cadet Corps gathered before us. Our security services must consider unearthing talents among the cadets and voluntary youth groups when it comes to the enlistment and recruitment into the services. This, I believe, will go a long way in encouraging them to be good security personnel who will demonstrate the training, skills, and virtues that they have acquired at this stage for the sustenance of morale, high standards and etiquette, as well as esprit de corps of the security agencies while serving the state and its citizenry in a professional manner. Before I take my seat, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to congratulate the board members and leadership of the National Cadet Corps for consistently marking this day without any budget from the central government. I think they deserve a round of applause. Consistently marking this day without any budget from the central government. I am delighted to be part of them because they believe in the can-do spirit with or without government. This is what we need to support. I thank all organizations that have been associated with the National Cadet Corps. I note with particular interest how you have come to their aid, even at very short notice, whenever they have called on you. Ghana and the youth are proud of you. To the other organizations, please do well to support next year because it is an annual event. The National Cadet Coordinator General and your team, we congratulate you for your selfless efforts and leadership. The government of Ghana appreciates young people like you. I am reliably informed that most of the youth here are from outside Accra, and they contributed on their own to make today their day, your day. We appreciate all of you. We are proud of all of you because you chose love for your nation over fighting against each other. You chose love for the nation over love for money. You chose love over rumor mongering and character assassination. Keep up the good work, youth of Ghana. We will do our best to support you. Long live our Republic of Ghana. Long live our Republic Day. Long live our National Cadet Corps. God bless our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. Ahu! 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 Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a speech delivered by the Honorable Osman, Deputy Chief of Staff. Thank you very much. We take the opportunity to introduce these personalities.
Would like to acknowledge people who form the part of the National Planning Committee for today's program. We say a very big thank you to Madam Julian Clofia, the chairperson for the Planning Committee, Mr. Michael Into Aye, Director for PN Sports GES. We also like to thank Madam Georgina, Mr. Kelvin Zake Okoti Mensa, and Mr. Frank Kuruha. A special thanks goes to the National Coordinator General, Mr. Nicholas Mitete Amadefio.
Thank you very much. That was my co-commentator, Ms. Patience Benjamin. At this moment, we'll all be on our feet whilst the parade RSA will yell. Let's be on our feet.
Ministerial salutes are already here. You keep on standing. You keep on standing. While the ministerial salute is being done by already here. Flag party will be marching off. Flag party will be marching off.
Stop. Delivery of speech and presentation of awards over. May I have your permission to march off the parade? Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, before the color party marches.
Hello there, my name is Rebecca Iwa, and it is another week where we're looking at the major headlines within the papers. It is the weekly press review. You can join us via Facebook on our Facebook page at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and you can like it, you can share it, and you can also send in your comments, and we'll read it here right on set. And we'll be looking at major topics within the week: Arise Ghana demonstration, whether the government should go to the IMF for a bailout, and we'll also take a look at the issues pertaining to the National Cathedral. Then NAT is also demanding 20% cost of living allowance. These and more on the weekly press review. But before then, and before I introduce my guest in the studio, let's take a look at some of the papers and the headlines within the week. We have the Daily Graphic. We says partner to fight water pollution, and that is in front of the Daily Graphic. And government assesses impact of economic interventions. That can be found on page 20. When you check the other headlines, Graphic Group increases cover prices, and we have the Criminal Code also embraces plea bargaining, and that is on the front page of the Daily Graphic, Truth and Advocacy. Let's look at the Ghanaian Times. We have the Arise Ghana demo turns chaotic, and that is on the banner headline of the Ghanaian Times dated June 29, 2022. That story is on page 16, and we know that the police fires tear gas, water cannon, demonstrators also throw stones, and scores arrested. There you can find the story of the health minister testifying in a £2.37 million ambulance procurement case, and that is on page 3 of the Ghanaian Times dated June 29. Don't place premium on private gains, Ochihene tells African leaders, and the Ochihene Osajefo Amwete for Repaying has called African leaders not to place their private gain and interest above those of the people, and that can be found on page 3 of the Daily Graphic on July 1. The latest newspaper, Truth and Accuracy Every Day. That is on the banner headline for the Daily Graphic. And you can find also Don't Go to IMF, and that is from the TUC to the government, as experts get divided, private sector get divided over whether the government should go to the IMF for a bailout or find other ways of helping our economy. And there too you can find second day Arise Ghana demo ends peacefully and protesters present. Also on in the Daily Graphic, dated June 30th, IMF to go or not to go, and that is the question then. Experts support move, but private sector is divided over that move. And on page 16 of that too, we have fishers differ on close season, and down there you can see 31.7 million mobilized for the National Cathedral. And there are other stories in the Daily Graphic, and you can get one for yourself. And the Ghanaian Times reports of a mad rush for Ghana card, as today marks start of the Bank of Ghana's directive to use ID card only for all bank transactions, and that can be found on page 16 of the Ghanaian Times dated July 1. You can grab that paper and see the details for yourself. And chaos, tear gas Arise Ghana demo, and 12 policemen injured, some protesters also arrested. And the Daily Graphic reports that on the 29th of June 2022, and that story is by Dixon Wolanyo Doche. It can be found on page 3 of the newspaper. And update your records with your Ghana card effective July 1. Ghanaian Times also reports, let's focus on TVET. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, tells West Central and African governments, and it's on page 16 of the Ghanaian Times, and the most authoritative newspaper, that is dated June 28. Trade Minister advocates loan guarantee scheme for MSMEs, and that can be found on page 16, as well as Mr. Alan Tremantin calls for that. And avoid monkeypox by adhering to COVID-19 safety protocols. That is from Dr. Benjamin Kisi Sesu, and those stories and more can be found in your most authoritative newspaper, the Ghanaian Times, and that is the June 28th edition. 8 companies also in court for defaulting a 1.7 billion SNIT workers contribution, and that is on page 3 of the Ghanaian Times. Get the papers, grab them, and get to read more of those stories and get to know what is happening or what has happened within our country for the last week. And I have in studio to be discussing this issue with me here. I have a member of the NPP communications team in the person of Mr. Alfred Kojo Thompson. Yes, we will also be joined shortly by Elikem Kotoko, who is a member of the NDC communication team. And as I earlier indicated, we are looking at pressing issues here. The Arise Ghana demonstration. We're looking at whether the government should go to the IMF or not. $37.1 million raised for the National Cathedral project, and NAT also demanding a 20% of cost of living allowance. Mr. Thompson, Arise Ghana demonstration. What is your comments about that? Let's see. How did it go in your perspective? Was it even necessary at this time?
I'd say good morning to your cherished viewers. And it's been some time I came over here.
That's right.
Arise Ghana. And today is Independence Day, so I'll say happy days. Everybody has a right to demonstrate. And that right cannot be taken away from the person. However, your demonstration should be within the confines of the laws of this country. You cannot decide to do things on your own. You cannot decide to take the law into your own hands because you are demonstrating. You cannot decide to throw objects at the people who are supposed to keep the peace and the security around you. You cannot also decide to burn ties on the streets, that is the tar that has been put there, to destroy it. So at the end of it all, what we're seeking is that you need to send a message across. You need to let the government and the people who are in authority know that the things are not going as you expect, and that you have another alternative in which the government, if they listen to you, could help resolve the problems. So that is what we expected from the Arise Ghana demonstration. And I keep on saying that when you are in opposition and you don't plan well, you plan to fail. Because what is happening now is that, yes, we expect the opposition to come out with whatever message they want to come out. And definitely, once you're in opposition, you have everything to say against the sitting government, because when there are challenges, you have an upper hand. However, we expect you to do it in a nice and presentable manner that will help and enhance the peace, the security, and the development of this country. They started on day one in a very bad line, because when you look at the videos and the things that were shown, the stoning of some police personnel and everything, definitely I don't believe that the police just got up and started throwing tear gas into the crowd. I don't believe that they just stood up and decided that let's punish these people, or let's arrest 32 of them, of which 2 were released because on health grounds, and 29 were sent to the police station or were put behind counterback. So at the end of it all, what we expect from them is some peace, some nice way of showing your displeasure about how things are going, but you do it in a coordinated manner that will not affect the peace, the security, the unity that we are embracing at the moment. So once you do that and you don't do it well, you expect that the people too who are guarding you will also have a counter reaction. Sometimes you hear them say no, and even before the demonstration, they were not in agreement with the path they should take and everything. When you see that someone is not in agreement with you on certain things, you also take a precautionary measure. You don't take a combative measure to make sure that you are going to fight the person, hook or crook. Because whether you like it or not, the person is in charge. The person is the one who is going to control affairs at the moment. And the mere fact that you've gone to court to raise an injunction or whatever you call it doesn't mean that automatically it has been accepted and that you should do what you like. You still have to work within the confines of the laws. So day one was not that good as we expected, but day two went very well. It went very coordinated. Both parties respected each other. You could see the police marching directly in front of this thing, and the security was high, as expected. And the demonstrators, I think they also took a cue from day one with all the things that went on, and also decided that, listen, let us work within the confines of the agreements that has been accorded us. So they also did very well by putting themselves together. The message was well delivered to the Ministry of Finance and I think to Parliament. And definitely government will look at it. Already there are some measures that are being put in place. You know that the government is going for the mid-year retreat to see the things that the measures that they took in January, to see whether how it's gone so far and whether there are more measures that should be taken or some that should be reviewed. So at the end of it all, we're looking for the good of this country. We're looking for the peace of this country. So if they are also contributing peacefully to that good of this country, we embrace it with all its righteousness. But if it's going to be in a bad and deadly manner, as we saw on the first day, by trying to burn ties in the middle of the road, forgetting that it's the taxpayers' money that they used to construct the roads and everything. When you burn the ties, it spoils the tar over there. You have to take money and do it. Look at the stones that were thrown at the cars of the police and everything. It's all taxpayers' money. And we don't want to be seeing those unruly things in the country. So I would say that on the whole, I think they've sent their message across. It's been heard in good faith. And I believe that at the end of it all, we want the good of this country.
Right, but I have been joined by Elikem Kotoko, who is a member of the NDC communications team. Elikem,
Rebecca,
long time.
Yes, so
and good to have you.
Same here. I feel very good to be here, especially
with seeing We're looking at the Arise Ghana demonstration.
Yeah.
And the motive.
Yes.
Behind the demonstration. Is it welcome news around this time?
It's welcome news at a very sad time in the history of our beloved country. I mean, you would agree with me that as we speak today, it doesn't matter whether you voted NPP or NDC, so long as you boarded a vehicle or drove a vehicle here, the price of petrol has increased astronomically. It takes a very lazy and insensitive and very irresponsible leader to tell you that there's war between Ukraine and Russia. That is the reason why. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is not a reason why our currency has become very important. If the cedi was actually a cedi to the dollar, imagine how much a liter of petrol would have been. So let them not keep insulting the intelligence of Ghanaians about the quagmire we find ourselves in. It is the more reason why we would have to actually applaud the organizers of the Arise Ghana demonstration. I would want to use this platform to even urge them to replicate this on regional basis and even if constituency basis. I must also say a very big shame to the police on their misconduct on the first day. Let me quote particularly what Mr. Bernard Mona said. If you recall in one of his interviews, he did make it very clear that they saw policemen who were wearing Arise Ghana t-shirts. At a point when they even tried to get rid of one of them, the police took them and actually acknowledged he was one of them. What was the motive behind that? That was a deliberate attempt to mar the progress of the process. And it's very shameful that a police service that has taken a nosedive for some time now has made itself a stooge, especially the top hierarchy. And they have become compromised only to the regime. Thank God, however, that the second day, they actually did not misconduct themselves the same way they did. I would not want to play any blame game here as to who threw stones first and who did what. From where I sit, I noticed that the police misconducted themselves, and the people have gotten to their limit. If you venture, they will come at you. And I will say this even on any platform anywhere, that if any police officer tries to assault any civilian again, you need to pay them back. Well, that is your opinion. You can decide to take it out. Let me tell you this. Yes, it's your opinion. Let me tell you.
Elikem, you would have to end it right there. Look, we don't entertain these kind
Yes,
of,
it's
especially
indiscipline.
because this is a national
You see,
platform. Let me issue this disclaimer that any comment coming from the guest or the panel on this platform represents their own and not that of the corporation. We need to be very.
And I'll issue my own disclaimer on it as well. that I'm fully responsible
but not
for my
on
comments
this
on your platform.
platform. Not on this. If you take back those words,
I will
because-
never do that.
No,
I
you
will
have-
never
because
do that.
the
I am sorry,
police-
I will never do it. So
the
don't even
police-
ask me again to take it back. I will never
No,
take it back.
no,
We
but-
cannot continue to be in a democratic dispensation where the police will be assaulting innocent civilians and we want to be embracing that.
Right.
If an eye for an eye makes the world go blind, then the
there
person who is
shouldn't be
stepping
a
on my
hate
eye should
speech.
know that I can also step same on yours. So let us all be
This is
civil
the weekly
in our
press
conduct. We
review,
must ensure
and
that discipline must
I
be
am
there.
in here with Elikim Kotoko, who is a member of the NDC communications team, as well as Mr. Alfred Thompson, also a member of the NPP communications team. In as much as we are trying to deliberate on what has gone on within our country, we are also encouraging that we do not project hate speech on this platform. It is a national platform and it is worldwide. We'll go for a quick break, we'll come back and we'll tackle the issues on the table.
On GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure?
Dan Votrasia
At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
on-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
with a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
True revival is that divine moment when God bursts upon the scene and displays his glory. Get ready to experience the word and the power of God as Ampiakofi World Outreach brings to you Voice of Revival with Reverend Robert Ampiakofi, the General Overseer of the Global Revival Ministries and the President of Ampiakofi World Outreach, one of the most uncompromising, dynamic and powerful healing evangelists with an apostolic voice to the nations of the world. Live on GTV at 6 p.m. starting from Sunday the 3rd of July 2022. For more details, please call 0554-592-688. That is 0554-592-688. We are located at the Revival City, Naman Road, Hacho Mango Lane. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's starting from Sunday the 3rd of July 2022. God richly bless you.
Bus takes off again on a trip to sizzle your Saturdays for another stimulating journey across Ghana and Africa. Well prepared, Africa's story in a
here on GTV every Saturday morning from 6:30 to 7 a.m. Please join us as we discuss the scriptures each and every Saturday morning. God bless you.
And nations tremble at his voice. All creation.
Good to have you stay on the weekly press review, and we're looking at very pressing issues in our country, and our goal is for national development. Right. So, Elikem, before we went on the break, you were on a particular tangent, and I wanted you to retract, please, for our viewers, so that we can promote national unity and cohesion. Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. I'll get my speech, but there's nothing to retract in what I made earlier. However, moving forward, I would want to state that we need to advise the Ghana Police Service to abide by the very mantra of integrity, service with integrity, as they have said. Indeed, I'm sure you would agree with me, everybody was praising them for doing well on the second day. I would say it is because there was no opportunity for them to lash on again to unleash venom on the people. But all the same, it is good it went all well. It is the more reason why I would be very happy that the organizers of this program will look at having mammoth rallies of these demonstrations of this nature. Probably that will replicate concurrently across the country in all regions, because the hardships is not only in Accra, it is not only in Kumasi, it is not only in Takrady, neither is it only in Tamale or only in Boga. So it should be all over the country. And that, I believe, a lot of Ghanaians would buy into and would also want to join in to demonstrate, which is a civil, in fact, it's a democratic right of every citizen that they ought to do. I must say that one of the reasons for this demonstration is because of the untold hardship that has been brought on to Ghanaians as a result of their public financial indiscipline by government, excessive borrowing, which is aimed at only helping or enriching the financial pockets of families and friends of the president, i.e., the finance minister, whose company is the greatest beneficiary in terms of transactional advice to the numerous loans we are taking, amongst other things. So if you look at these and you see a regime where there cannot even be a reshuffle, it tells you that the regime is stuck. The very people they call the competent men are the square pegs and round holes we are seeing today, who were crying on rooftops that they are the best managers of the economy. They have, I told you here before, the president himself insulted himself, saying that we are saying Dr. Bawumia Nyakupodi in Nyansa Nyinagunitim, the president saying that to the vice. So you yourself, what? You get my point. And the very person who we are told has all the economic wisdom or the magic wand to transform the economy. Today, how much is the cedi to the dollar? How much is a liter of petrol? A liter of petrol used to be how much? A gallon that used to be about 14 or 15 cedis some 6 years ago is now the value of just 1 liter. So these untold hardships. If you visit Professor Steve Hanke on George Hopkins University, he stated clearly that our inflation that has been pegged at about 26-27% is a total fabrication by government. It's a lie. It's hovering around 47%. And you would agree with me that is the reason why the hardship is severe compared to what we are witnessing
But
today.
looking at the current economic crisis and its implication on nations, what differently would your government would have done in this circumstance?
We've suggested so many things. For instance, the cut on waste. We have a president who is as insensitive as a headless chicken to still be flying a luxurious private jet all over in the name of what? Security. When we were here in your studios, we were told that the presidential jet was not fit for purpose. But the first lady was made to fly the same presidential jet to go and meet the president somewhere else. So she is supposed to die? So this hypocrisy of cherry picking and telling us what they think we should hear at one point and what we should hear at another is what has brought us here. We have people who are corrupt to the extent that you ask them questions and they feel that It is their right not to answer you. And people defend them. Where are the people, apostles, who were screaming 4 more? 4 more, it's left with 2 more. And the 2 more is going to be extremely hardship. We just need to brace ourselves for Western.
Is that supposed to be a prophecy?
That doesn't need to be a prophecy. You need to understand economics, watch the prevailing situations, and be able to tell yourself that this is a regime that is helpless. They are helpless than even we, the people they are governing. The president has no idea what he's doing.
Really?
He just wants to enjoy himself, and he's in the extra time of his life, so he should enjoy his life, leave a dirt behind. Let me tell you one problem. For instance,
no.
What is a no for?
No, Elikim, this morning the words you are saying are very strong.
Say, all things being opposition. Okay. Are you a Christian? Should I quote the Bible for you?
No.
Yes, so what is the point in what
that is
language
not
have I
what we are discussing on the table.
See,
let's go back to the Arise.
Yes.
And the cause of you talk
that is
about.
what I'm telling you. A president who is insensitive, reckless, and irresponsible.
I won't admit that on this. No.
You will not admit that the president is insensitive, that he's using your tax to be flying all over in luxurious jets? I am sorry, then you are also being a hypocrite. As a media person who does not care about the president abusing power to this extent.
How do you abuse power with that?
Do you know of Sawabroni?
How do you abuse power with that?
Do you know how we are affecting our diplomatic missions?
We are looking
you know
at
about
the Ghana Arise Ghana the Arise Ghana demonstration.
Why didn't you ever bring Giselle Yazi
the
after
Arise
the
Ghana
12 years?
campaign, we are looking at
and that is
how
what I'm telling
fared
you.
And
please, you see,
how we can surmount those challenges going forward.
Ask what